Today, you're about to hear one of the most powerful, emotional, and inspiring stories in the history of automobiles. The true success story of Mercedes-Benz. This is not just a story about cars. It's a story about vision, struggle, love, war, redemption, innovation, and legacy. It's about how a man's invention, a woman's courage, and a company's resilience created a brand that today stands for luxury, power, and trust across the world. It all began in 1844 in Germany with the birth of a boy named Carl Benz. From a young age, Carl wasn't like other children. While others played with toys, he dreamed of machines. He became an engineer, and in a world dominated by horses and carriages, Carl imagined something revolutionary, a self-propelled vehicle, a machine that could move without horses. People laughed at the idea. They called it madness. But Carl Benz believed. After years of work, sweat, and sacrifice, in 1885, Carl Benz built the world's first gasoline-powered automobile, the Benz patent motor wagon. It had 3 wheels and a small engine. It was noisy, strange, and no one believed it had a future. Nobody wanted to buy it. Carl felt defeated. But behind this historic invention stood an extraordinary woman, his wife, Bertha Benz. A visionary in her own right, Bertha knew the world needed to see this invention in action. In 1888, without telling Carl, she took the motor wagon, her 2 sons, and began a 106-kilometer journey from Mannheim to her mother's house in Pforzheim. No roads, no gas stations, no mechanics, just one woman and a dream. She fixed the car herself along the way using a hat pin and a hairpin. She bought fuel from a pharmacy, and she made history. Bertha's secret journey became the world's first long-distance car trip. She proved to the world that the automobile was not just a fantasy, it was the future. Sales began. The invention was no longer a joke. It was a revolution. But Carl Benz wasn't alone in this revolution. Around the same time in Stuttgart, another inventor named Gottlieb Daimler was building his own engines with his partner Wilhelm Maybach. They built one of the world's first motorbikes and later installed engines into vehicles. While Benz and Daimler worked separately, they were unknowingly shaping the future of transportation. The name Mercedes came from an unexpected place, a little girl. Emil Jelinek, a wealthy car dealer and racing enthusiast, promised Daimler he would sell his cars across Europe, but only if the car was named after his daughter, Mercedes. In 1901, the legendary Mercedes 35 horsepower was born, considered by many as the world's first modern car. Sleek, powerful, and fast, it changed the way people looked at automobiles. But as the 20th century progressed, the world changed. War erupted. Both Daimler and Benz's companies were forced to halt regular production during World War I and make military vehicles. After the war, Germany's economy collapsed. Businesses were failing. That's when, in 1926, Benz and Company and Daimler Motoren Gesellschaft merged to form a new company, Mercedes-Benz, a name that would go on to define luxury engineering for generations. Yet the darkest chapter was yet to come. In the 1930s, Adolf Hitler rose to power. Mercedes-Benz became a key supplier to the Nazi regime. They produced cars, trucks, and engines for the German military. Hitler himself was often seen in a Mercedes-Benz 770, a luxury car armored and built for a dictator. And behind the walls of Mercedes factories, thousands of forced laborers, prisoners, and captives were made to work under brutal conditions. It's a truth that Mercedes-Benz could not ignore. After the war, The company publicly admitted its role, issued apologies, and paid reparations to survivors. They didn't run from their past. They confronted it, and that gave them honor. Germany was left in ruins after World War II. Cities were destroyed. The economy was broken. But from the ashes, Mercedes-Benz rose again. Piece by piece, the company rebuilt, creating delivery vans, buses, and small cars. Then, in 1954, they shocked the world with the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing, a stunning vehicle with doors that opened like wings. It wasn't just a car, it was art. From then on, Mercedes focused on more than speed and luxury. They became pioneers in safety. In the 1960s, they introduced crumple zones, seatbelts, airbags, and anti-lock braking systems, saving millions of lives across the decades. When people thought of safety, they thought of Mercedes. The 1970s brought the iconic S-Class, the flagship of luxury. With its handcrafted interiors, powerful engines, and unmatched elegance, the S-Class became the car of presidents, movie stars, kings, and CEOs. Across continents, Mercedes-Benz was no longer just a car. It was a statement, a sign that you had arrived. But the journey wasn't smooth. New rivals emerged: BMW, Audi, Lexus, Jaguar, Volvo. Each offered style, speed, and luxury. Mercedes couldn't afford to relax. They pushed forward, expanding into SUVs, compact cars, and even supercars like the SLR McLaren. In the early 2000s, Mercedes introduced Maybach, a brand dedicated to ultra-luxury. Built for billionaires and royals, these vehicles were like private jets on wheels. Meanwhile, celebrities like Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Shah Rukh Khan made the brand part of pop culture. But the future was changing. Climate change and technology demanded a new direction. Mercedes answered with EQ, their electric brand. With models like EQS and EQE, they entered the world of electric luxury. Featuring huge digital screens, AI assistants, and long-range batteries, these cars were built for tomorrow. Mercedes-Benz now invests billions in electric mobility, AI, and clean energy. Their goal? To become fully electric by 2030. But why does Mercedes still lead the world after more than a century? Because they never stopped evolving. They respected the past, learned from it, and moved with the future. They combined art and engineering, emotion and intelligence, luxury and trust. From Carl Benz's garage to Bertha Benz's courage, from war and guilt to peace and pride, from a little girl named Mercedes to an empire of elegance. This is the story of Mercedes-Benz, not just a brand, but a legacy that continues to inspire the world. If this story moved you, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more powerful and real brand stories. Until next time, dream big, believe boldly, and drive forward.